This DM brief brought to you by Warm Honey Social, helping you build a buzzworthy brand and online presence. To hear the rest of Sydney's story, check out the full episode.
Was there a point where faith clicked, and was it an obvious point, or was it just kind of over time?
I actually had a light switch moment. So, obviously with my childhood, like we all go through trauma. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, I'm working through it right now, but I have this fear of abandonment. And like, that is my biggest fear. And like, we all have that one thing. Like, there's like, I don't know where that's rooted in. And I'm like pro therapy. I love working through this and like talking about it. And obviously I spend a lot of time in prayer about it. It very recently has come to the realization that that's one of my fears. And fear is not good, right? Yeah. It's like from Satan. I was going through a really hard time with my boyfriend, and it just kind of came to the point where we weren't living a very godly relationship, and it was like, what do we do now? I'm like, I'm broken, you're broken, where do we go? And so we decided to take like a week apart, spend time in prayer, and then go to church the next weekend on Sunday. And that week was like so extremely hard to me because I realized in myself that I made attachments with people here on earth. Mm-hmm. So like I put all of my like happiness and all of my joy and all of everything on the weight of my boyfriend's shoulders. And like it was too much for him to bear because he's not God. He can't hold that weight. So he, praise be to God, like recognized that about our relationship and like came to me and like told me that like it was just too much for him to carry. And I was humiliated, humbled in that moment, but it is the best thing that has ever happened to me because that time apart, I was sitting in my bed and I wish I knew the exact verse. John 14, I think it's 14, 17 or 18, and they're describing the Holy Spirit. And Jesus is telling all of his disciples, he's telling them like, I will go, but I'm going to send a helper. And when Jesus called the helper the Holy Spirit, I was like, the helper, like we have something on this earth that is like, we can grasp for and is like here to help us, and that's the Holy Spirit. And my light switch moment was reading that Bible verse, seeing the Holy Spirit as the helper, and I'm not even kidding you, it was the most intense moment of my entire life. Like I felt the Holy Spirit just like illuminate my soul, and from then on I was like, there's nothing I want more than that feeling the rest of my life, to follow Christ and to like be one with him, and to do his will and to do his plan for me on this earth. So that was definitely my light switch moment. It was like there was a before that moment and there was an after that moment, and yeah, it was very powerful.
Okay. So John 14 verse 16 says, "And I will ask the Father, and he will give you another advocate, who will never leave you. He is the Holy Spirit who leads into all truth. The world cannot receive him because it isn't looking for him and doesn't recognize him. But if you know him, because he lives with you now and later will be in you. No, I will not abandon you as orphans. I will come to you."
Yeah.
That's like such a good verse.
Yeah, so like when I heard Jesus ask the Father to send a helper, mm-hmm. it was just like so clear cut to me that like the world and the Holy Spirit are like oil and water. Like they do not mix. No. Like you cannot have the Spirit and be of this world. And for me in my situation, it was like you cannot fully like put all of your love and trust in your boyfriend and follow Jesus. So like it was like that disconnect where I like just finally like light switch. Right. I need to have God as my number one, and then like everything else will be below.
To hear the rest of Sydney's story, check out the full episode.